Hi guys, welcome to the Cambridge Way. It's Lori and I've got quite a bit of stuff to share with you today. It's been a few weeks, sorry I'm itchy, a few weeks since my last video for my craft mania and all the things. I've got some new stash, I have a bunch of finishes, and I have a finished cross stitch. This is my channel where I talk about more of my crafty hands-on things opposed to my other YouTube channel, which is more about hauls and DIYs. Just a little different over here, but you can subscribe to both. The links are in the drop-down box, and a thumbs up was greatly appreciated. Let's get started. Let's show you my finish. I finished the Suffrage Act by Little House Needlework. I love it. I did the DMC conversion, except for in her dress. I did get the color in cotton. I think it's antique white maybe or something. And then I got overdyed red for the brick. But everything else was the DMC conversion. I did this on 32 count Belfast in the color Mocha. And I love it. I don't know how I'm going to finish it yet. I can't decide if I want to do a pillow or a frame. I don't know. We'll see. But it is done. Oh, it was so exciting and in perfect timing for this year. So I got that complete. That was my finish for stitching. And now in May, I was starting, let me pull out the pattern out of my moose bag for the retreat I'm hoping to go to in Canada in September. I'm working on the Kringles, and this is also by Little House Needlework. I love it. I haven't made any changes except for the fabric. This is all called for color flosses, and it is the design was called for 30 count Parisian gray from Access Commodities, and I dyed up my own 32 count in pearl gray. And this is Artiste brand. It's a Zweigert base from Hobby Lobby. And I got a big piece. And that's where I'm at. So I have the floors done. I do have one more wall of brick to put in. And then I will fill in all the brick. And then the next thing I will move up to is the roof. There you go. And then I'm going to go back in and fill the rooms. I figured this way, if I make a counting error, I'll catch it, and then I can kind of fudge the rooms to fit. Although, I did make a counting error. I was on Virtual Stitcher Zoom call on Friday night, just zipping along on this wall here, and I miscounted by one row. It was one row over. No, lies. It was this row. And it was one row over. You probably wouldn't have noticed it, but I think when I filled in the red, I would have noticed it and it would have bothered me. So I did rip out that whole row and I restitched it. So I just have one more to go. And then I'll get out the brick red, which I don't remember what the color is, but I will start on that, get the roof done, and then I'll come back down here to the bottom. I'm a bottom left kind of girl. And then I will start filling in the rooms. Actually, I need to do the bricks here first. Then I will start getting each of these rooms done. I mean, I have a fair amount to go, but I will feel very comfortable by having the foundation laid. I guess I like to cross stitch like I like to color. I like to do the outside and then fill in the middle. So that is where I'm at on my Kringles. I haven't really worked on much of anything else cross stitch wise. We can go on to some knitting. No finishes, but I've made some progress. This is my it's called a sockhead hat. It is a free pattern on Ravelry, and it's just a slouchy hat. I got all the ribbing done. It's 2x2 ribbing. And then it's just straight stitching for days. Just knitting in the circle all the way up until it's long enough, and then you start with your hat decreases. But yes, I love this. And I am knitting this. I don't even know what size needles I'm using. I think these are a 2 or a 3. I don't know. It's a circular. And I think these are Knit Pros, maybe. I don't remember. I have the yarn. It is Patent Croy sock yarn. 50-gram balls. I have 2 balls. This pattern is designed for one skein of sock yarn. That's what the creator, designed it for. But 2 50-gram balls work as well. And you make it to your own specifications. This I get at Joann, fairly regularly on sale. So this is what the ball starts off like, and now this is where I'm at. So I'm pretty well into the first ball. And it's literally, I mean, this is like a great beginner hat for somebody. There's no cabling, there's no increases. You'll have some decreases later on in life when you're feeling more confident, but it's literally knit 2, purl 2 for 5 inches or 6 inches or however long. I don't like my ribbing really long because I have short hair, but it can be folded up as well. And also be folded under and then stitched down to do a double layer. Or if you're sensitive to wool, you can line it with fleece. Or if you want it warmer, you can line it with fleece. I don't wear toboggan type hats all too frequently, but I like to have them for winter, and I love this color for fall. And I thought, this is fun. Let's do this. So this is typically what I work on when I'm in bed at night, watching the news or something, watching TV. I work on this because it's basic and knitting. I work on my cross stitch when I'm down here in the living room, chilling out. I work on that in my knitty spot or my stitchy spot. Oh, and this is in a Halloween bag that I made. It's just a little drawstring sack. It even has just a single draw with a little plastic stopper. Ooh, I gotta put my ball bands back so I can tell you the next time what kind of yarn I'm using. Next up, I was making, and I have a couple finishes. This yarn is opal. These are little mini skeins. They came in an advent calendar. So I have a fair amount because I bought this 2 years in a row. So I have about 50, less than 50 because I've used some, but I would have had about 48 skeins of this, or 50, I can't remember, and they're not named. It's just their sock yarn base. And what I have done is knitted up tubes. Now I could make a sock if I closed off the end, but what I'm gonna make is for the cats, kick sticks. I'm gonna stuff it for Christmas for them with fiberfill and catnip. They love catnip. And then you sew off the ends and then they can do their thing. So I made this one and I finished this one. They just take a couple hours. And then I'm not gonna stuff them yet, but when I'm ready, I'll sew them. I love that pattern. And each of these is one entire mini skein. And then I decided they needed a fatter one. So I cast on more stitches. I don't even remember how many. I know this one had 12 on each. I think this one has 15 or 20 on each. 15, I think. But it'll be short and squat. And look at that pretty color. The sock is beautiful, their yarn, and it's very sturdy. It's not super soft, but it definitely is sturdy. But look at that self-striping pattern. And this, again, is just knit round and round and round. And I definitely know these are size 2, US 2 Knit Pro Zings. And I like them a lot. I like the point on them. I prefer the metal needles to wood. I have wood, I have bamboo. They're okay, but the fabric doesn't seem to slide as quickly and it gets a little frustrating for me. And circular needles, my absolute favorite is Chalgu red lace fixed. I don't care for interchangeables. I've only used them once and they kept unscrewing on me and it was really irritating. Not that I wouldn't try circulars, because I would, but I have a lot of fixed circulars, so I don't really need to buy any right now. But that's what I use for the majority of my knitting, are these, which are Chalgu, and they are metal cable encased, there's no memory to them. When you wind them up, I can store it like that. I store them like this for weeks, months, and when it comes out, it's straight. And I love that. The join is nice and smooth. There's no hiccup when you're running your yarn over it, and they're nice and pointy. So there's my not sponsored review of ChiaoGoo Red Lace. I love them. Love them. Anyway, so these are for Christmas. I've got several friends that have cats, so I'm going to be just kind of knitting these as I go between now and Christmas, and I will gift them to the cats in our life. And probably Sarah's dog, because she thinks she's a cat. And plays with, when she comes, she plays with all the cat toys. Here's a pair of the bamboo, this size. And you see how the cord, it just stays twisted. No matter, I was knitting on these for a fair amount of time. And it just, I guess you could put them in hot water, I've heard, but, and I think these are from Joanne. Vanna White, maybe? I don't know. Well, nope, these are ChiaoGoo's. These are ChiaoGoo size 4 in the bamboo. They're okay. I love the red lace the best, but these are okay. But this is how I store my needles. So the cables stay, and this plastic holds the memory of that shape. I have heard, again, you can put it in hot water, but that's just a lot of work. Sorry. Okay, now I have some progress on my Plaid Apptation poncho. So I went ahead and added in a stripe of gray and a stripe of green. And if you don't remember, this is, I don't have my pattern handy. I got this from, I think it's called Blueprint now. My niece bought it for me a couple of years ago for Christmas, but I think the pattern's on Ravelry. And it's called Plaid Apptations. I think it's Auntie Nan, something like that. So here's the colors. I decided I wanted the majority to be purple, but I love this pop of gray and green. And then there will be another stripe on the other end. I'm going to go gray, green, gray, green. And then if you see these vertical channels in here, when this is done, I will take a crochet hook and weave the colors up these channels, and then you'll get your vertical plaid stripes. So I made pretty good progress from the last time we talked. I didn't have the gray in yet. I did move my, what is that? I think it's a unicorn. Yes, my unicorn stitch marker from Knit Picks. And I moved it up. So this, I need to do, this is about almost halfway done with one panel. I will do 3. Once each panel is complete though, it goes much faster, I feel like. And I'll just pull it out. And I actually work on this a lot while I'm on conference calls at work, for work. So this one's good. The yarns I'm using, the purple is Miss Babs. It's a Yowza ball, and she calls it a light worsted. It's pretty much a DK weight. And I don't know if you'll be able to see the coloring in here, but it's purples and black, a little black, and all the different shades of purple. It's really pretty. It's a very vibrant purple. And then the gray is Mad Tosh Twist Light in the color Aura. And look at that gray. I just love hand-dyed yarns and the subtle variations in color. And then the green is Malabrigo, and it's in the color Lettuce. It's a little brighter than it's showing up. It's getting kind of blown out by my ring light, but I love that color. And so the Malabrigo and the Mad Tosh are fingering weight yarn, so I'm holding them double so that I can make the same weight as a DK. It's not exact, it's perfectly fine. And something like this poncho, the important thing is the measurements, not how you get there. So you could do this, the original I did in worsted weight, you could do it in fingering weight. You just have to make enough rows to get to my 30 something inches that I needed it to be long, each panel. So it's very friendly to kind of make your own, if you will. Okay, now the last thing I have is some sewing. So we've got cross stitching, we've done knitting this month, and now I have some sewing. I bought a jelly roll from Joann. It was a small jelly roll, and a jelly roll is different cuts of fabric in the same color family in 2.5-inch strips, and it's rolled into a jelly roll. And it's a small one, and I bought a yard of fabric, and my goal was to see how many projects, like how much I could create out of that one jelly roll and that 1 yard of fabric. I didn't want any waste. I'm trying to use up stuff, but I wanted a new fabric to match my dining room. And I needed to learn how to kind of quilt, like practice some quilting. I think I did a darn good job. So with the white, I bought a yard. It's just white on white floral. I have this much left of binding I can use it for another project that I created. It's just 2.5-inch strip, ironed in half and sewed together. So I have that much binding left. I have this much fabric. Now I wouldn't have quite this much, but I did use some of my scrap for a different part of this. But I have that much lining left, which I will use to line some little notion bags or something. It'll get used. White on white. I don't seem to have a problem using my neutrals when I'm making bags and stuff because I use it for lining. What I do have a lot of is exterior fabrics that I'm not trying to buy more of, except for I bought more of. Right. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. I did use a lot of my fabric for mask making. Okay, so the pattern that I bought, let me see if I can find a good, here we go, a good variety of it. This is the jelly roll, and this is each of the patterns that came in the jelly roll. So there was some greenery, we had a black strip with lemons, a plaid with black and yellow. This is all lemons. So there was 1, 2, 3, 4 different fabrics, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I'm on here is not this one. And then there was this yellow with the lemons and the green. So there were 5 different fabric prints. Out of it, I got 4 mug rugs for desks and to give away. This is where I utilize a different color fabric. I thought for a mug rug, I would put a not white on the back. And I just used fusible interfacing. I could quilt this, I could stitch it all down, but these were just some scrappy, put them on my end table to match, put them in my kitchen. I can use it as a candle base. So I got 4 mug rugs out of it. And then I was practicing and I made a mistake lining up my squares. And so I turned those mistakes into a project bag. Fully lined, that same lining. I did some zigzag with the zip. Nothing lined up properly. I don't care. I love it. It's cute. It's very kitschy. It's very shabby looking. My practice here was lining up seams and corners and stuff, and I got a fun project bag to hold a summer project out of it. And it's pretty good size too. And this also has fusible fleece, and I think it's a thicker fleece that's in here than my other project bags. Yeah, it's definitely thicker. I had it. I'm trying to use up all that kind of stuff too. So yeah, here's my bag. It's a French seam. So you sew it wrong sides together, then you turn it around and sew it right sides together, and that encases your seam so you don't have any open. So that is a project bag, which I need to get a zipper pull for. So I got that and 4 of those. But the reason I started this is I wanted a table runner for my dining room table, and it's an odd size. It's an antique my sister-in-law gave me. It's an old farm table. I freaking love it. It is so old and rustic, and I love it, but I wanted a table runner, and it's an odd size. So I usually just make them. So I went this route and sewed my strips together, and then I just sewed, that's how I quilted it on the back. Look how terrible those straight lines are, but I'm practicing. That's what this is all about. And then I hand sewed the back of my binding. So I followed a tutorial and I sewed the front on with the machine, and then when I flipped it, I hand stitched all the way around. And look at those corners. Let's look at my quilting corners together, not that one. Let's look at that one. I got a miter corner going on here. I'm very proud of this, even though it's not perfect. I know it's not perfect, but I love it. And it looks really nice and bright on my dark wood table. And my kitchen is yellows and blacks and white as well, lemon themed. So I finished it and I'm super excited. It's very basic, and the whole reason that I'm trying to learn to do this is, oh, sorry, my sleeves are falling down. I was on the Fat Quarter shop looking around, and I found a charm pack, which is a pack of 5-inch squares of this fabric that I absolutely love for Christmas. And I want to make a couch blanket to sew on the back of my couch for this winter, but I needed to practice quilting before I go to tackle that project. So I'm pretty proud of myself. With 1 yard of fabric and 1 jelly roll, I was able to make all of these products. And I have nothing left of the jelly roll and just a little bit left of that yard of lining, which again, I will get plenty of use out of. This doesn't concern me in the least littlest bit. So that, I think I've had a very successful craft mania. I kind of set out to get a few things done, and I did. I did get all the things done I set out to do. And I have a whole lot of acquisitions. So, there's that. Let's go over what I was given, aka or purchased. Oh, and I have a kit that I put together. So, I got a message from a lovely subscriber and asked if I would be interested in some floss that she was no longer utilizing, and I was very appreciative to have that. So she sent it to me and I organized it. So that's all the floss that I have. I was on, like I said, Virtual Stitchers on Friday night. It was my first time. Everybody was very lovely. But this woman, Vicky, and I think her channel is Vicky Buttons. I was kind of asking how I would store all this, because quite frankly, this was my floss stash before. I have a couple others, but this was about it. Because I just bought projects and floss to go with it. And then that's what was kind of left from the different projects. So she had suggested that I bag it up by, because this is all DMC. So what I did is I wrote, I know you won't see it maybe, but I wrote $300 to $399 and put all those colors in that bag and so forth. So it starts at 100 and it goes all the way up, and then here's all the 3000s. So they're either on bobbins or skeins, and they're all in here. So before I go shopping to buy floss, I can hit my stash. Who knew? And then I have a bag here, which is all the whites. So there's white, and then there's the B, whatever that number, B5200. And then I have a white, just a regular blanc. And my 310s and a gray I keep in here. This is all of the Etoile, I think it's called. I don't know. It's sparkly. I can't remember what it's called. But it's DMC sparkly, so fancy. And then in here I have some other DMC fancy, glittery, variegated. Here's some Krynic. Now some of this, no, this all came from my friend. I have some other floss that has more Krynic in it. A project. So I have all that in there, and then I have mine, which, where is, oh, mine. And then I'm keeping it separate just because I didn't want to put it in a plastic bag. And then there was some fancy floss, some Weeks Dye Works, some Classic Color Works, and some Gentle Art that were in there. And I think they're beautiful. And these are really my colors. I love them all. So I'm kind of excited that she and I have similar tastes and palettes. So I'm just keeping that floss in here just to keep dust and stuff off of it for now. That goes in there. And then I have, this is just randoms in little baggies that were, I'm not going to bobbinate them, and I don't want to hang them, so I'm just leaving them. And I'll just, you know, it's not overwhelming at this point. I feel very comfortable that this is my my floss collection, which I think is a lot. I know a lot of people have a ton, but I don't honestly want more than I could use in a lifetime type situation happening here. Like in 2020, I'm not buying yarn. I'm knitting yarn. I'm knitting up the yarn stash that I have, which again is nowhere near what some people have, but I don't need to have it to look at. I want to have it to use, but that's me. I also don't have a bunch of whips going because I want to finish it. Like I want the product. So I guess I'm not necessarily always about the process. I want the product, if that makes sense. Now, I have one thing kitted up, and then I will show you what I purchased. I bought this chart a while back, and it's a good old State of Ohio. It's got the ladybug, the flowers established. The only thing it doesn't have is a buckeye, but I might put one on there. We'll see. But this chart was created in 2009, so it's a little dated. I did go through and update some of the colors on here. Same shades. I mean, same like blue, white, reds, but I picked different colors of those color families. So I have that ready to go. It calls for, where is it at? I gotta get the, no, don't lick your fingers. I'm a finger licker, guys. 14 count antique white Ada. So 28 count, but I will probably do it on 32. 32 count in some pretty color. I don't know. And then maybe somewhere in here, I'll put a buckeye. Just brown and a little bit of cream. I don't know. But I kitted that up while I was messing with this floss and getting it all organized. This is not something I'm starting right now, but again, it's something I would like to have at some point. So that was my one thing I kitted up, I believe. Yes. Okay, now purchases. Guys, I went a little nuts. At the Dollar Tree, I grabbed these jumbo plastic clothespins to use to hold fabric. I bought those spools, the spoolie thingies. They're okay, but they don't work with this other purchase I have, which I'll show you. I got a Q-snap. But I think this will work. Just to hold it, and it's not gonna squish my fabric and everything. So I grabbed these just to try. I think I know on somebody's YouTube, I saw them using them. I just don't remember, I'm sorry, which channel. So this was not my own creation or hack, but I thought it was perfect, so I grabbed them at the Dollar Tree. And then while I was in the Dollar Tree, I found some books. This is Victory Girls. It is a quilt book. It tells the stories of these quilts. There's patterns, and then in the back for the applique, there's actually patterns, and for any of them that have embroidery, there are patterns. For $1, I thought that was fabulous, just to read. I don't know that I will make any of these quilts, but I really like the idea of kind of reading the history behind them. I don't feel like I'm becoming a quilter. I feel like I'm dabbling because I want to make that blanket. And it was $1. So I grabbed that. And then Interweaves had a book in there, and it is simply modern lace. And there's like shawl patterns and lace work patterns and all that in here. And there was one that I really would like to create. And for $1 for just that one pattern, totally worth it. And there's a couple I might, like this hat and some shawls, but for $1, I was on board with that. So I picked up all that at the Dollar Tree. All right, so I will show you. I got a Q-snap. It's 11 by 17. I got it because I needed to work on the cringles, and I wasn't quite sure how I was going to maneuver that around. But see how that fits on here? And it's not overly tight, but when I put fabric, it will hold the fabric, and it's not overly strong. That will crimp my fabric. But anyway, I bought this Q-snap. I think I'm gonna order an 8x8 as well for smaller things. But this is for the bigger one. So I grabbed that. And then I needed something to hold it, right? I picked up this Case Creation Z frame. This is not the mini, it's the Z. It holds up to a 22-inch scroll rod and frame or Q-snap, and it comes with the clamp for the Q-snap. So I grabbed this. It comes with all the pieces that you need. I'm enjoying it immensely. I want to do a review on just this product, but it is finely quality crafted. I think this was a good investment. They were on sale, and I had a little extra in my Etsy fund this month in my little budget, so I picked it up. And I really enjoy it a lot for working on larger things, and it kind of helps with the two-handed stitching. So I picked this up. I am going to make a bag for it. I was kind of sad that the lemon bag didn't fit, but I'll just make one to size. So when I'm out and about, when we open back the world, I can take it with me and everything will stay protected. I don't want it to get all banged up, if that makes sense. And so I thought, let's just do what we need to do. What's fun about it or interesting is I think it's like all different wood. Definitely these are different wood types. But I don't mind. I like it a lot. And it is nice, and I believe they're handcrafted. And I got it on Etsy. Took a little time to get here, but everything is taking a little time, so I was patient with that. Then while I was in Joann's looking for some other fabric for the next project, I picked up, look at that. I'm obsessed with these right now. These were half price, so I think it was like $3. It's going to be a zipper pull for a bag that I'm making. And I love it, and the sparkle. And then look at these. The bigger ones are going to be zipper pulls. The little ones are going to be stitch markers for my knitting. And that was $3 as well. And I don't know if you can see, they're rainbow beads. And they're already hanging on their, I mean, this is done. This work is done for me, and it was $3. So I grabbed 2 of those. They were both half price. Some lining fabric. This is going to be the lining for the bag. That's going to be for the Q-snap, or for the Z-frame. And then I picked up this, actually at Michael's. It's a 9x9 shadow box, glass, nice sturdy base, and I want to finish a project that I made. So this is what's gonna go in, and it's fairly thick, which I do like. I could even put sit something down here in the corner, if I could find like a bell or something. When I stitched this up, this was a previous finish. This was, I think, my second cross-stitched finish. I really felt like this was summery, and I wanted to make it red, white, and bluish, like Americana, but not screaming Americana. So it's done. I want to put it in here, but I need a backing fabric. So, and fabric pick-ins are slim, guys, out there because of all the mask making, which I get it, but it just makes it a challenge to stitch. So I either want to go with this. I really wanted a navy blue and white gingham, which I couldn't find. So I may pop into Hobby Lobby to see if I think I stopped recording for a second. So I don't know where I was. It just stopped. But anyway, I really wanted some navy blue and white gingham, but I couldn't find it. But look at that blue on blue. That's pretty, but I think the flowers are conflicting on that. Needless to say, this will become something. And then I grabbed this, which I'm leaning towards, but I really would like a navy blue. So we'll see. The goal is to back it with whatever fabric, and then I'm going to attach this to the front of the fabric and do the frayed edges. So stitch it to the fabric and then fray the edges on it all the way around is my goal. And then I'll have some leftover fabric when that's done being finished. I'm just not at a point right now where I can finish it. So I picked up those things, and it was all, you know, decent price on sale. I was in Michael's a couple weeks ago because I needed some storage containers, so like you do. All right, I think what's left is some patterns. Now, well, sort of patterns. I picked up Bowen needles, 2 packs of 26. So I was using DMC, and I find that I bend them. They're very soft, and they bend, and I'm annoyed with them. So I ordered 2 packs of these, and I love them. I will use the DMC that I have until they break, which I break them like one a project. It's ridiculous. And I'm not even like a hard stitcher. I'm not squeezing on them or anything. They're just I think they get soft in my hands. These feel more substantial. I took the needles out already and stored them, but I got 2 of those and I ordered them from Annie B's Folk Art. Shipping was fantastic. They were only $2.60, but shipping was $3.85, so they totaled out to be $9.66, and that was equivalent to what I would get, really less expensive than I would get. They were like $6 on Amazon when I checked the last time. So I grabbed 2. I want to get some 24s as well because I think I'm going to try 40 count. So I'm going to order some 24s, and I want to try John James as well. But for now, I'm liking those. So I ordered those. And it did come with a free chart, which I love. It says Forever Friends. I can't show it to you because there's no picture, but it's just a little chart. And then Caroline on Off the Grid Needle Art showed this chart, and I decided that I had to have it. It was going to be like a fall stitch, but it's Wildin Studios Evermore. And there's a quote on it that says, "Once upon a midnight dreary, while I ponder weak and weary, quoth the raven, nevermore." I love it. And again, I love this for fall and Halloween. It's not Halloween, orange and purple. It's kind of dark and creepy, if that makes sense. Like, I like the understated. Same thing with summer, red, white, and blue. Now, Christmas, I'm all about Christmas. But I like this. So I'm going to stitch that up. This will be... I have 1 ahead of it, I think. I may actually get 2 going at once for my retreat, but we'll see. So I bought Nevermore. I have not bought fabric for this, and I have not bought the floss. There is not a DMC conversion for it, so I need to get into my needlework store and just buy the called fors. And this is from Wildin Studios 2018. And I got it on Etsy, and I can't remember the shop. And then the last purchase that I made was from Homespun Sampler. And I decided that I want to do the Prairie Schoolers. And I think what I want to do is stitch them up and make little pillows out of them and put them in a wooden bowl for Christmas time. I ordered the 2019 Santa. She mistakenly sent me the 2018, but we're going to get that switched out. Although I do like the 2018 Santa. I had just ordered the 2019. The 2020 is out, which I am going to order this week. She said she will have it in this week. So I grabbed that, just 1. And then I picked up a 3-pack. And this is 1984, 1989, 1991. Sorry for the glare. And this is a 3-pack of ornaments. And I love them. And I feel like I want to buy... Here's what I'm feeling like I want to do. I want to get them all on the same color palette, the same color floss, the same, like I want to get a gold velour, like a 1970 golden velvet velour backing, and a green chenille to go around them all, and all in the same piece of fabric. So I need to get a piece of fabric that I can get like a whole yard of, or a half a yard probably, or something commercial that I can always buy more of, because I feel like, and then probably do the DMC conversion so I don't run out. Oh, these are all charted for DMC, so that's good. Oh yeah, they're charted for DMC, so perfect. So that's my plan. I need to get like a yard of gold. I just want, or a thrift store, some just crushed velvet, like that color gold back there, that mustardy color. All right, guys, well, that is everything. I had a lot to show you. It's been a while since I recorded, and I hope you're enjoying these videos because I enjoy making them and showing you my creations. All right, everybody, well, you have a good one, and I will talk with you later.